I think it's overkill. And I'm telling you right now, it's nothing that I would ever waste my time doing, because it's a fool's fucking errand. Why is it a fool's errand? Because you don't know what people can and can't fucking handle. It's not my job to figure out what the fuck is going to offend you as the viewer or the consumer of my material. Okay. Now, with that being said, I do think that there is a certain degree of responsibility on the publisher's end. Not necessarily saying on the author's end, but if you're a self-published author, then I guess you kind of double as the publisher. But there is a certain degree of responsibility on the publisher's end in the way in which they market the work. Okay, whether that be TV shows that are being produced or books that are being published. And for me, like, what I do is kind of like a catch-all general warning label, if you will. So that should tell anybody with a fucking brain that my shit is not for children. Okay. But I also sympathize with the other side of this, where, it's parents that are out there and they want to be able to trust that they can send their kids to school, and their kids have free access to the school library, and the kids can just willy-nilly on their own free time after school or during the day, in between classes or whatever, go to the library, and they can check out books from their own school library that have graphic and explicit descriptions of sexual activity. I could see where parents would be very frustrated with that. A parent could be trying to raise their child in a certain way and under certain beliefs, and now you have these externalities kind of weaseling their way in to the mix, and having to deal with that, it could create a lot of difficulties, conflict, whatnot, so, there is that aspect of it too, that I think, deserve at least to have a bit of, sympathy from people, and try to, at the very least, try to understand where people are coming from, that it's not coming from a place of censorship in the form of like, oh, your book cannot exist. If you write erotica, you cannot publish erotica. You cannot sell erotica on the open market. Like, no, I don't think that at all. I think I am an extremist, actually, when it comes to freedom of speech. I would be labeled by a lot of people as an extremist in that sense. But, because I think that people have the freedom to write whatever, especially when we're talking about fiction here, in the form of representation in fiction. You can write whatever characters you want. You can have those characters do whatever you want, say whatever you want, any kind of crazy cockamamie plot that your brain can come up with. Fucking more power to you. Take it, push it to the limit as far as that goes. That's where I stand with it. D.A. Bell writes, agreed. Market your content properly to let the consumer know what they're about to get into. In terms of the content, it's like, I also don't think that you need to give away everything that happens in your book either. You don't have to get into the specifics in your blurb. But certainly, like, I would say, it's just having at least some semblance of, dare I say, common sense. What does that even mean, really, in this day and age at this point? But I think, you kind of get at where I'm coming from. If you have a fucking rape scene in your book, then yeah, you might want to say, you don't have to get specific with it, but just say, like, this book is meant for adults. That's what I leave it at. Like, if you're an adult and you need trigger warnings, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Stick to the picture books. Stick to the children's section, okay?